have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world. You hit that play button. So glad you did. Welcome in. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna, coming at you with another episode of the Genesis Frequency, diving right in today. And I want to let you know that everything I share is applicable to individuals, small businesses, corporations, ministries, ministers, supervisors, C suite executives, wherever you find yourself on the path of life. Because life is a process of development, of improvement. I think it should be anyway. That's my perspective and my take on everything. I want to be better than I was yesterday. It's constant self improvement and looking at ways that keep me in alignment with my ideals, with my principles, with my goals, with what I want to experience in my life. And I want that for you too. I want to be in service in a way that supports you along your path. That's what this is all about. That's what this show is all about. And we've shared a lot of topics in this short time we've had together just this year. But over the last 7+ years that I've been doing this show. So I think that the material that I've shared with you, the podcasts and the broadcasts that I have shared with you are very, very valuable. Just don't let yourself fall into the trap. A lot of people take that which they get for free and put no value on it. And don't make that mistake here because there's tremendous value. What I have distilled down into 20 minutes each and every week for years and years and years and have shared with you. If you would take it and apply it and take action in your life, you would see a profound difference in your experience. And hopefully, you'd be making quantum leaps in the direction of the goals and the life you would love to live. So, send me a note about that. I'm gathering testimonials and comments and how I have helped and how you've taken the material I've shared, applied it, and taken action in your life, putting them all together. And we'll do some shows about it, maybe get you on here and have you as a guest to talk about that as well. So, interested in hearing from all my listeners all the time. And you can do that by reaching out to Stephen, Stephen, at successocean.com, all one word, Stephen at successocean.com. And you can also schedule a conversation with me, successappointment.com, all one word, successappointment.com. Get you on my calendar. We can have a conversation about helping you move from point A to point B or from point A to the big dream goal, whatever that may be, right? Or we can talk about your business, your company, your corporation, your ministry. Maybe it's not where you want it to be. Maybe there's some things that you need some help identifying and putting your finger on and looking for solutions. And I can bring those solutions to your organization, whatever kind of organization that may be. We can come in and we can do a development program within your organization as we identify the sore points that need to be perhaps repaired, improved, made more effective, made more efficient, improved performance, productivity, profitability, all that stuff. Okay, enough with the commercials. Reach out, let's have a talk. Today I want to talk about listening. Listening, you're listening right now. Good for you. You have to participate in listening. We want to become active listeners. We're going to talk a little bit about being an active listener. What I want to share with you is a piece though. I get a lot of stuff sent to my inbox, probably way too much, but I do. And some of the things I open, some of the things I open less often, some of the things I open all the time. But I get a great little piece here. I think it comes in just about every day, and it's called Admired Leadership Field Notes. And I reached out because all their stuff's really good. And this particular piece really jumped out at me because I am about to facilitate an effective communications program. So I'd like to have you in there. We're going to be doing that very, very, very soon. I don't have the dates yet. When I do, I'll share it with you. Effective communication. And this one came across my desk from the folks at Admired Leadership in their field notes email. And I reached out and I do have permission to share it. So thank you very, very much. And it's titled Despicable Listeners Who Steal the Ball. I think we've all experienced that. Think about a listener who is despicable. They steal the ball. And then we'll talk a little bit about active listening. So I'm going to share this piece with you. I don't usually read through whole things. This isn't real long, it's very short. So just listen in and take what you will from this piece. Here we go. It says, some listeners take over the conversation by interrupting, changing the topic, or focusing on themselves without any intention to understand what the other party has to say. Think about that. Without any intention to understand what the other party has to say. Metaphorically speaking, they steal the ball away from those speaking and run with it. People quickly get fed up with them. You might recognize this ploy from someone you know. You say, I can't wait to tell you about my new car. Before you get the last word out, they grab the conversation and run with it. I got a new car last year. It smells new even though it has 25,000 miles on it. They go on to describe their car without any curiosity about yours. Their actions direct the conversational flow away from you and onto themselves. Or you might say something like, I've been thinking a lot about the assignment and how we might approach it. Their response, I was thinking of eating outside today. Would you like to join me? By abruptly shifting the topic, they steal the ball and the substance of the conversation. Or you might begin describing your view about the assignment. This project comes with multiple layers and issues, but before you can complete the thought and sentence, they finish it for you that are going to require innovative solutions to address. They are so self focused that many of these conversational thieves don't even realize that they are doing it or how rude and condescending it can be. If you work or live with a ball stealer, you are used to their antics, but that doesn't make interacting with them any easier. They steal the ball in meetings, at the dinner table, during presentations, and anywhere they believe their opinions or viewpoints matter more than what anyone else has to say, which normally means everywhere. If you allow them to maintain this pattern, you are stuck with the frustration and annoyance that comes with it. Not to mention that the lousy listener never hears what you or anyone else thinks. You would do them a favor by pointing out their nasty habit and asking them to change their dreadful ways. For those with a chronic pattern of ball stealing, the best way to help them is to record a conversation with them and then play it back. Listeners who steal the ball are typically unaware of how they redirect any conversation and make it about them. They are usually aghast when they are forced to engage with a recording of what they do. They will most often apologize profusely. All they need to begin rejuvenation is a request to allow you and others to finish what you start. It may sound cruel or uncaring to record a ball stealer and ask them to listen to their dysfunctional conversational style, but you would actually do them a great service. No one wants to be around a ball stealer, and their relationships and work suffer as a result. Once confronted with a recording, now anytime they violate the norm of allowing others to finish, all you have to do is remind them that they need to let others complete what they are saying. While this doesn't diminish their desire to steal the ball and take center stage, it will slowly change how they listen. What a wonder that would be. I love this piece. I know that this is, well, something similar to this that I have worked to overcome on my life. Talking over people or starting to with my conversation or my input or my 2 cents before they finish used to be a real bad habit, and sometimes I guess I still do that. So we're always a work in progress. But this is really something to pay attention to. Are we are we listening? Are we actively listening? Are we participating in conversation and communication by focusing on the listening part? And it might sound so minor. Of course, I listen. Yeah, I listen to this crap all day long. know? We can develop attitudes of thought and words and actions around listening. But really think about this. What is your style when you're listening? Are you listening intently? Are you looking at the person? Are you making eye contact? Are you looking deep into their eyes when they're speaking to you? Are you showing that you are listening? Active listening is a real thing. I want to share this real quick. This is a short paragraph from a book study I'm in right now called The Servant, a simple story about the true essence of leadership. And this is by James Hunter, best-selling author, over 3 million of these books in print. And it says in here, active listening requires a disciplined effort to silence all that internal conversation while we're attempting to listen to another human being. It requires a sacrifice, an extension of ourselves to block out the noise and truly enter another person's world, even for a few minutes. Active listening is attempting to see things as the speaker sees them and attempting to feel things as the speaker feels them. This identification with the speaker is referred to as empathy and requires a great deal of effort. You know, we usually hear faster than someone can speak. And so we often, in our human experience, born out of habit, we're formulating our response. We're thinking about how we can articulate that response. We're thinking about our opinion. We're thinking about what we're going to say next. We're thinking about whether they're wrong, right, whether we agree with them, whether we don't agree with them. We're making judgments along the way. Oh, I'm smarter than that. They're not smarter. All along throughout the whole conversation, we are thinking thousands of thoughts. That is not active listening. Active listening and participating in communication is letting all that go, as much of it as we possibly can. When they're finished with their thought, their thoughts they're sharing with us, then we can stop. We can pause, take a moment to formulate our response, our ideas, our thoughts, and then, if appropriate, respond. Maybe it's not appropriate. Maybe it's something for another time. So just take a look at this. Where do you see yourself in all of this? Are you a ball stealer? Are you ceaselessly tuning out the other person as soon as they open their mouth? Or Are you actively listening? Are you showing that you're listening? Are you engaging with whoever is communicating with you? Are you showing that you are attentive? Are you leaning into the conversation, making eye contact? What are you doing? Just how about this week? Just notice. Even if for goodness sake, turn the camera on if you're on Zoom. Turn it on. It's rude to not have it on during your meetings. Are you looking into the camera as if you're looking deeply into the person that's speaking's eyes? Are you leaning in? Are you paying attention? Are you actively listening? Are you participating in this? This may sound simple, but it's not always easy. I think if you would just take the time and set the intention for this week, I'm just going to notice. I'm just going to notice how I show up as a listener, as the other party in the communication process, not one who is speaking, but one who is listening actively with empathy. How am I showing up? What am I doing when another person is communicating? This is so important. So important to become a good, quality, a great listener. If we really, really listen and then we process what we have heard in the proper way, especially in business and in life and at home and in any kind of relationship, we can offer our point of view that is either supportive or providing solutions if that's what's being sought, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just somebody that needs to express whatever it is they're expressing. And then we've done our job, but we still have to listen. But we can be more effective in everything we do and more efficient in what we show up as to that other person, to that group, whatever. Life is about communication. And I think it's so important to really work on this as a skill because it is a skill. It really is a skill because to a certain extent, we might not all be a ball stealer, but to a certain extent, we are all doing some form of this, formulating our response, not totally engaged in the listening process. So that's what I got to share with you today. I think it's really important, and we're going to go deeper and deeper into communications. In maybe not the next episode, but as we move on, we'll refer back to this one a little bit as I go deeper into preparing for our effective communication program. I think it's an 8 week or 10 week program, and we might do that every other week. So it'd be a little longer than that. But you want to reach out. Let's have a conversation with that. I think everybody in every organization needs this, no matter what you're doing, whether you're a church, a ministry, uh, a for profit or a nonprofit organization, a small business or a big business. If you find that you are engaged with anyone that you can see within this podcast today, oh, yeah, maybe we get them into a program like this, effective communication. It's so important, especially in this day and age when we're so easily distracted by everything coming at us. And not just the radio and the TV, but just social media and the bombardment of email and our dwindling attention spans. We open an email and we something else catches our eye. We click that link, and before you know it, we're an hour away from where we started. And often we'll go back to our task, and then we're reminded why we strayed away to begin with and go, oh my gosh, an hour is gone. And I didn't even go over there and get what I intended to retrieve when I moved away from my task. I hear these stories all the time, and I'm guilty as charged, used to be guilty as charged as well that we do that. So let's improve that. Let's improve all that we do. This is all part of communication with ourselves. That's another aspect of this, how we express our thoughts and our feelings. So reach out again. Stephen, Stephen, at successocean.com and successappointment.com. Get you on my calendar. You can go to the website, either the genesisfrequency.com for this podcast or successocean.com for this for our company. And there's some forms in there if you want to go into a little bit more detail of what you're up against, what you'd like to achieve, what the big dream goal is, and some of the problems you're facing. Either one of those, the genesisfrequency.com, successocean.com. But that's going to do it for today. We're going to wrap this thing up and send it on out. And I hope to hear from you. I truly do. I love sharing this information. It's all helped me tremendously make a quantum leap in my life and radically transform my world. And I'm here to be in loving service to each and every one of you. So reach out. You've been listening to the Genesis Frequency Podcast with Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna, and I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. God bless you.